everybody. This is AKA Heather Joy, and you guys have just boarded the lifeboat. You get me again today. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's see. Let me get the comments up here going. Let's see. Hang on a second. Something else. Oh, yes, I remember. That's what I needed to do. There we go. All right. We've got Jason and Scott, Mr. Ray Ray, Anik, Charles, Faith. Well, there's a name I haven't seen on here before. Welcome, Faith. Rose, photographer. Let's see who else. Charlie's here, and Miss Dragon, and Guilty as Hell. I like that. I like that name. Miss B. Hi, Miss B. Let's see. Who else? Boy, you guys have been busy in the chat. Noise Opera, welcome. Full of Hope, hello. It's good to see everybody. Hey, I have some good news. Sherry is on the mend and should be out of the hospital tonight or tomorrow. I'm not sure which, but yeah, she's on the mend, so that's good news. Anyway, before I jump into this, let me just run through the rules that we have here on the lifeboat. Number one, no politics, please. Politics just are too upsetting right now, and it's better that we leave those out of the conversations in the live chat. Number two, let's see. No religion, as far what I mean by that is, it's fine to say things like I'm offering to pray for someone, or saying something like, I couldn't have found sobriety without my faith. Those are just fine. But if you are telling somebody that your God is better than their God, or you're telling them why they're going to hell, that's just right out. So please don't go there. The third one, no swearing. Please refrain from cursing in the live chat and the comment section. As Tommy always says, if you can't control your mouth, then you can't control your life. The fourth one, no trolls. There's absolutely no space on this boat for mean people at all. If you are caught being mean, you're going to get yourself banned permanently. That's just all there is to it. And I don't think I have actually seen an instance where that has ever happened since I've been on the boat. But anyway, I also have a few requests. Where did I put? Aha, the first one. Please exit out of the chat and hit that like button for me, and then come back in. If you like what you see here, please share it with others. That helps the algorithm help us to reach more people, and that's what we really want to do. And if you haven't subscribed, why not? Please subscribe. Anyway, it's good to have you guys all here today, this afternoon, this evening, whatever it is. I guess it is kind of evening time, isn't it? Especially on the other side of the United States. So anyway, I wanted to talk tonight a little bit about accountability. And I don't enjoy these abstract ideas as much. They're just a little bit more difficult to present, but I'm going to do my best, because accountability is so important for addiction recovery. Hang on, my light is way too bright. That's bugging me. Let's see here. Okay, maybe that has helped a little bit. Oh yeah, that's a little better. I don't look so washed now. I don't know. I still kind of look washed out. Oh well. Anyway. Okay, here. I have a little story I want to read to you, and you probably heard this one before, but I remember hearing this when I was like in sixth grade, and I just thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard. It made me laugh. Uh, this is the story about four people named everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. There was an important job that there was an important job that had to be done. Everybody was asked to do it. Everybody was sure somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. I know it's kind of a silly one, but there's a few ways you can summarize this story. Lack of accountability, lack of ownership, lack of responsibility, finger pointing, or assigning blame. In the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it defines accountability as the quality or state of being accountable, an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's own actions. Yeah, so I'm sure everybody understands what accountability is, but accountability really is very essential for people that are trying to walk the path of recovery from addiction. And it's vital. It really is that people in early recovery they take actions necessary to maintain their health and wellness. It's we really run ourselves down when we're in active addiction, and accountability in this respect, it can really go a long way. It can ensure that you get that you are doing the proper actions, you're taking the proper actions that need to be done, to get yourself well and whole again. Then there's two different kinds of accountability. And first of all, there's an internal type of accountability. And this is basically just being accountable to yourself. You can also call this self-discipline in some circumstances. And I kind of compare it to looking in the mirror and having to answer to the person who is staring back at you. And that's this is an important part of accountability. This internal accountability. However, for recovering addicts, it's usually simply not enough. You need to have an external type of accountability. An external accountability would be, where you are giving an account of your actions to somebody else, to a person or to persons. And that's what, really, especially at the beginning of sobriety, when things are really, when you're struggling and things are tough, you really do need to be accountable to an external source, to somebody else, to keep you, where you need to be. Um, I was thinking back, when I went through rehab in, let's see, 2008. And even after I got home, and for I once I got home, I relapsed once we got home. Once I got home. But then after that, it's been 15 years now. And I was thinking about this, even after I'd spent 6 months. 6 months. It's a long time, but I was there for 6 months. And even when after, getting home, it was still, I don't know, years before I really understood accountability, and I really understood what it meant to be accountable for my own actions, to own them, to and it was a big process. It took a long time, but I remember the day that it really hit me. I was watching it. It was something on the TLC channel, and I think it was that show 600 Pound Life that I had spoken of. Did I talk about that this morning or the other day? It was I everything runs together, guys. But anyway, I remember watching, and the I just remember that the person that the show was focusing on was blaming everybody around them for their problems. They were not taking any ownership at all. And this it was a woman, and she was, she had gone into this weight loss doctor, and Dr. Now, if any of you guys, if you've seen it, you know who Dr. Now is. And he lays down the law. He tells them all of the things that they need to do and how much weight they have got to lose to show him that they are actually ready for weight loss surgery, because there's too many complications that you can have afterwards. If you're going to continue to eat massive quantities of food, and those rules are really really important for the patient's safety and well-being. I mean, that they could, if a patient that has that type of surgery, um, you know loses control, and starts ingesting a big quantity of food, it can, if they aren't healed yet, it can rip the stitches out, it can make things leak, it can be very dangerous. So it's really important. But and this girl, on the day that I was watching, when it just kind of hit me, I'm watching her, and she'd been given all these rules, and she knew what she needed to do, but she just, that food addiction, it's an addiction. We all understand addiction here. It's a very strong, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a pull, a desire, I can't think of the word I want, but you know what I mean. But I remember that she did not meet her weight loss goal to qualify to have the surgery. And she immediately, as soon as Dr. Now left the office, she turned to her boyfriend and started cussing him out. You know, he was the one that was trying to help her. He was trying to help her limit what she was shoveling in. And it was just, and I remember watching her and thinking, my word, she's crazy. She's blaming him for something that she did herself, and then it hit me. It hit me. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I really took a good, hard, long look at myself. And even though I was sober, I wasn't, I didn't have a sober state of mind yet. I had gone, I don't even know how long it had been, and I was sober, but, again, up here, I wasn't yet. I was still blaming all of my problems on the house that I grew up in, and the situation that existed in the house I grew up in. As if I had, as if I didn't play any part of it. That and it hit me, and I went, "Ooh, wait a minute." And from that day on, that's when things really turned around for me. That's when I really started to realize what I was doing, and how close to relapsing again that I really was. And it was also at that point when I really started to take better care of my health and my mental health and everything. It was a big change for me, and I will never forget. I'll never forget that day, because it really hit me, and I went, oh, wait a minute. I was very much, I was being a hypocrite in a big way. Anyway, I had, I wasn't being accountable. I wasn't acknowledging and owning my part. in the addiction. You know, my mother had nothing to do with my choice to ingest prescription painkillers, you know, in the large amounts that I used to do. You know, she had nothing to do with that, you know. And you know, she was doing the best that she could when I was, you know, growing up. She had all kinds of issues that she was trying to deal with, and and here I was blaming her for my problems, and it doesn't work that way, you know. In the end, it just doesn't work. You've got to be, you've got to own your stuff. You really do. Um, let's see here. Look at my notes. Okay, I want to talk. Let's see. Is that? Hang on here. Did I? Okay. Okay. So anyway, I was talking a minute ago about, you know, the two types of accountability. You know, the internal versus the external, and you know, you can't. Let's see. You know, with external accountability, you know, you are being accountable. You are giving an account of your actions to someone else. But there's a few things that you have to do, you know, if you're going to be accountable. Um, you have to make an, you know, if somebody's going to help you, to keep yourself accountable, you first of all, you both, it's a two, you know, accountability, when you have someone you're reporting to, it is really a two-way street. um, you first of all, you need to make an agreement with the person that you're going to be accountable to. um, it takes, let's see, where did I write that down? There are three, where did I put that? Okay, great. I apologize, guys. I'm dealing with this chest cold and I don't feel well, and I'm not thinking like I should. Okay, you do have to make an agreement with somebody else as to, you know, you have to make an agreement as to the standards of behavior that you are going to maintain. You know, you've got to know what the rules are, and the other person needs to know what the rules are too. You have to agree upon those, and this person has to agree to hold you responsible if they catch you, if they see any signs of you, you know, wandering off the path that you're on. And they have to be able, you know, they have to be able to call you out on your crap when you do it. And you know, it takes but you know, it takes some good communication, and it takes some time, you know, sitting down and working these things out. It's not, you know, it does, it takes some time. It takes some good thought, and it takes a good person who's willing to do that for you as well. You know, but you can't. Boy, I'm sorry, guys. Doing very good today here. Um, okay, when you're personally accountable, you take ownership of what happens, you know, as a result of the choices and the actions that that you say and that you do. You know, when you're personally accountable, you know, there are a couple of things that you're going to see. First of all, you're not going to blame other people. You're not going to make excuses, and you do what you can. You know, if you mess up, if you do something wrong, you acknowledge it, and you acknowledge it to the person if you've wronged another person, and you do what you can, you know, to make amends. That's what you're going to see, you know, in being, really being accountable. And this takes some transparency, this takes some honesty. I was blown away, and I, let me see, is seventh son in here? I hate to do this when he's not in the chat. think he's in there. But Saturday morning, if you guys were here, was it Saturday morning? I believe it was Saturday morning. Yeah. He had wait, is some oh Leisure. Hey,
Hey, I'm doing this for the first time ever.
so glad you're here. Woohoo! How you
I just want
doing?
to say hi. I'm
I'm
hanging in here. I'm in pain. I'm not feeling well, but I'm
mm,
here.
I'm so sorry. I'm glad you're here. Oh, I'm tickled. I am tickled. Do you think that okay, the seventh son is not in the chat tonight? Do you think he's going to be upset if I use him as an example?
He is in
I
the chat tonight,
is he? Oh, he is. I didn't see him. Okay,
and
where
he's
is he?
under another name.
Oh,
What?
okay.
Did he get in trouble? What did
No,
he
he's not in
do?
trouble. No, he's not in trouble at all. He's a wonderful example of what you should do. Okay, I hope he won't be upset with me. But Saturday morning, he put it on Facebook and then in chat for everybody to see. He he was accountable. He had a relapse, and he came and told us that that still every time somebody relapses and they come back and they say, guys, I messed up, blows my mind. This is so cool. This is one of the reasons that the boat is
Not what I
so
wanted to talk
special.
about. That's all right.
What's that?
Wow. Wow. Not what I wanted. Not what I called in to talk about. But wow, I'm learning new stuff here. Wow. Maybe I should call in more often. You
Well, I
sleep through
was
stuff.
just
You sleep through stuff when the back channels are open, and you miss everything.
I guess so.
Well, I don't have any little eyes there and ears there to hear anymore. So kind of
Well,
bites.
I was impressed. I mean, he's just dead honest with us. He's
He's a
accountable.
good dude.
He really is. And that's those kind of people are the people that I trust. And I think those people that can hold themselves accountable like that are the kind that are going to make it too. You know,
Yeah.
I'm I was so impressed. That's some serious accountability right there. And yeah, that it still just shocks me because that's something I I think now I could do it, if I relapsed. But years back, no. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. But that's what I was talking about today was accountability. But is there something that you would like to talk about since you have been so good to come on?
Well, I figured I'm going to try it. I set it up a while ago when Mark was still around, and Mark was going to give me a workout with it and a tutorial. And then he got sick and couldn't do it. So I just been playing around with it on my own. And well, I
Yeah.
figured you're in there tonight. Not much, I'll just jump in there and see if it works.
Cool. And it does.
Since we have some projects coming up, remember?
Oh, so you are going to. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I said I would.
Okay, I didn't. Well, yeah, you did. I didn't know. I didn't know when you would want to, but okay, he's going to. When would you like to do that?
Whenever soon.
Soon. Okay.
Little wait till after my birthday,
Okay. When's your birthday?
July 7th.
Okay.
Get this.
Is
I
the
weighed 7 pounds, 7 ounces.
the seventh. That's awesome. That is also my sister's birthday. Is July
Yes,
7th.
yes, I think you
Yeah.
told me that.
Yeah, my dad was hoping she would, because she was born in 76, and he was hoping she'd be a bicentennial baby, on the 200th. birthday of our country, but she had to wait till the 7th. I guess that's just a better day. Must be.
Yes.
So okay, I
Yes.
better let me write that down. I think I did write it down, your birthday, but if I don't do this again, I'm going to forget. Let's see. And I believe Tommy's is on the 3rd of July. And
Yup. Figures.
and, and Tommy's sobriety birthday is the 27th of this month. It's coming up too. So he's got two birthdays. Anyway, well, I'm tickled that you are here. This is awesome. I love it when people will come up with me. I know that some for some people it's a little bit frightening, but here you are. So thank you.
Nah. You know why? Because I can't see the chat room no more. All I
Uh huh.
see is your face. So it's just like I'm doing a two-way with you.
I'm sorry about that.
No, that's all right. So it doesn't make it as scary because I forget that all them other people are out there.
There you
And I
go.
should be saying hi to people like V. Hi, V.
Yeah, we got V and guilty of
Mr.
hell, and his
Ray.
wife's birthday. Get this, his guilty as hell. He said his birth his wife's birthday is July 7th of 57.
Oh, wow.
All these sevens must be a good number.
Yep, must be.
That's funny. Oh goodness,
Now that I've totally disrupted the channel, brought it
it's
to its
okay.
knees, everybody's laughing their little butts off. I feel it's soup time.
It's soup time. Aha!
Soup time. Soup.
Are you looking for something?
Definitely soup time.
Oh, okay.
But I
Sorry.
just wanted to say hi, Heather,
Well, hi.
and
Thank you for
remind
coming
you,
on.
we have a couple projects to do. Don't forget about them.
Oh, I won't.
I know they say you designate things by giving it to the not dirtiest person, the busiest person, excuse me. And the busiest person will get shit done. Just like the dirtiest person will get shit clean too, but oops, my bad. I used bad words. Wasn't even thinking, oh,
I wasn't
twice in a
either.
row.
You could
Twice
have
in a
said
row.
nothing and I wouldn't have even noticed.
Oh, no, somebody out there would have. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, let
It's
me go
hard.
before I get myself into trouble.
Well, thank you for coming and saying hello. I appreciate that. And I'm
Well, thank
looking
you, Heather.
forward to he's going to come up, you guys, soon and share his story, because there's a lot of new people that don't know you and don't know your story, and they need to know. So
Man, it was great to meet you last weekend.
back at you, back at you. I did not
Thank you for
know that.
everything.
I didn't know. Well, I guess I won't discuss that online. Never mind. But thank you anyway. Well, I hope
And
you have a good night. And
everybody out there, Heather gives great hugs.
I
Hug from
try.
me.
Well, I hope you have a good night, and I hope you have a good dinner.
Okay, thank you. Uh, I'll see you, Heather.
Okay. Thank you. We'll see ya. Bye bye. Okay, guys. Let's see. That was sweet. I love it when you guys will jump on with me, and you're always welcome to. I did I mention I don't even know if I mentioned the pin comment, but yeah, it's there, and he found it. So anyway, let's see. Was I? There we go. Okay, let me look at my notes here really quick. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, I was just mentioning that the seventh son. I was just so impressed. He didn't blame anybody. He didn't try to point fingers. He said what had happened, and you know, I thought that was impressive. That's some accountability. I was looking, trying to define accountability a little, making it maybe just trying to make it a little bit easier to understand the concept. As far as just defining it, and I found another one that just said it's an acceptance of responsibility for honest and ethical conduct towards others. I liked that one. Um, and oh boy, I, let's see. Okay, yes, there are three C's of accountability. The first one would be clarity. If you're going to if you're going to have somebody, an accountability buddy, you both have to agree on what behavior is expected from both of you. You know, and so if you are the recovering addict, you might be asked to, it depends on where you are in your sobriety. But at the beginning, there might be some certain things that are expected of you, not by being home by a certain time, by not isolating yourself. Just it's a very individual thing, but the other person, like I was saying, has to be willing to call you out if they see that you're starting to wander off that path. There's also got to be a commitment. You both need to commit. The recovering addict that they are going to do the things that that have been agreed upon, and again, that person's going to commit to calling you out and holding you accountable. But the third part, the third C is courage. So there, clarity, commitment, and courage. I think that's probably one of the most important ones, honestly, because it does take, as addicts, when we are recovering, especially at the beginning, you know, it does take a lot of courage. You want so badly to prove yourself to your family or to your loved ones or to your friends. You want to redeem yourself because we leave a lot of destruction when we are in active addiction, and it takes courage to first of all make the decision that you're going to try and get control of your addiction, and the other person too. That takes some courage. It's not an easy thing, especially if it's someone that you are very close to and you care deeply about. It takes some courage to call them out and hold them accountable. It really does. I i never enjoyed, when I was working as a nurse, um, having a leadership responsibility. Because I didn't like to have to call people out on certain things. I did not enjoy that. I'm not one that likes to criticize people. I don't like that. It's very uncomfortable for me. And so I think it takes a lot of courage on both sides. Every recovering addict needs a support system. They need somebody that they can feel like they can be very honest with. They can be highly accountable, and that it's not an easy thing. It's a very different way of going about your day, and a different way of thinking, because when we're in active addiction, we isolate ourselves. We're very secretive. There's a lot of things that we hide, a lot of things that we don't want people to know. And yeah, it's a big change. It's a scary change. You really do need a good support system. You really do need somebody that you can be extremely honest with. And I think that's a wonderful thing about the boat is this is a place where we all we're well, most of us that are here are recovering addicts. We know how difficult it is, and we know how easy it is to slip out at times. And we get it. We understand why relapse happens. So it's a lot easier to come here to somebody who who knows that's been in your shoes, that's been where you are. It's a much easier, I think, coming here, and the boat is just wonderful. I think, but it really, you have to have a two-way street with accountability, with the person that's going to hold you accountable. And I think later on, when you are stronger in your sobriety, that it I think it is easier then to be accountable to yourself. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to look into the mirror, and the person that's looking back at you, you need to be able to like that person and be proud of that person and be proud of the things that that person is doing. That's an important part of sobriety. There are some very common barriers to accountability that pop up, and I think two of the biggest ones are probably pride and ego. You don't. It's not fun when you have to admit that you are in the wrong or that you've messed up. It's just not easy, and that's a huge one. We have to really change the way that we're thinking and become rather humble, correctable, teachable. And that can be for people that have a very strong ego. That's a difficult thing to do. It really is. There are many times that when my husband sees that I might be doing something, or if there's something that I say or something that I do that looks like I might not be taking the best care of myself, he'll call me out on it, and I have to not argue with him. I have to just shut my mouth and listen to him for a minute and really listen to what he's saying, and stay quiet, and not, just not just sit there, but I mean honestly listen and think about what he's saying to me. I really have to do that, and I have to humble myself and say, you know what, you're right. You're right. I did do that, and that wasn't right. And you know, I it's not an easy thing, but I have learned my husband's not a stupid man at all, and he knows me very well. And thank goodness I have him. Honestly, thank goodness I have him. But it's not an easy thing to humble yourself and take correction. Another thing that is a very common barrier to being accountable is self delusion. And I was thinking all of the different times before I went, before I got into a residential rehab, all the times that I had promised, I'll stop, and and you tell yourself that you can control it, and you'll go for a few days or a few weeks, whatever, and then those thoughts start creeping in, and all of the things that cause you pain, all the things that are there, that are responsible for why you started taking or taking drugs, or drinking, or some behavior that you had been addicted to. I think self delusion would be where thinking that you can just okay, I'll just have one pain pill. I just need it for now. I just need it. Today's a really bad day. I need to relax. I need whatever. We all know the things that we tell ourselves, and it's delusion. You know, there's never, one is never enough. It just isn't. I think delusions can be very, very strong. Um, that can be a big problem. The third one would be hypocrisy. Um, and I think people that are hypocrites really just aren't mindful. They'll see the wrong in someone else, but they can't see when they do the same thing that is just as wrong. Those can be big problems. So I want you to, if you journal, and I hope you do, if you journal though, maybe tonight think about, what are your barriers? What are the things that might get in the way of being accountable? It's a good thing to think about. Uh, there are there is a difference, a slight difference. I was thinking about this earlier, so I went and looked it up, and there are some differences between being accountable and being responsible. If you are accountable, um, being accountable is, how do I explain this? It's something that's accepted. Um, you you accept, you freely accept, being accountable. Whereas if you're just responsible, responsibility is more something that is given or delegated. I hope that makes sense. There's a slight difference. One where you freely take it on, and the other it's more given to you or delegated. Um, with being accountable, this is something that you can measure. Whereas if on the responsibility side, it might not be something that you can measure. On the accountability side, um, when you're being accountable for something, it is, you are result focused. The end goal is a result. And with responsibility, it's more of, um, like a task. Um, I don't know. These are, just slight differences. Um, but another one, as far as accountability, would be, um, you're fixed to one action or rule. Um, where on the responsibility side, that's more of an ongoing thing. And also with accountability, it's very individual. Where on the responsibility side of things, it's more of a group or an individual thing. I mean, these are, I know, I mean, I probably didn't even need to go there, but since I went to the effort of looking it up, there you go. Um, but there are accountability can really aid us in addiction recovery. And the first thing that it can do is it helps us take ownership. If you accept responsibility, uh, and you're being honest. Okay, if you accept responsibility for your own actions, you are being honest and you're being transparent. You're being, and that would be, with a friend or a sponsor. But you own your problem and you're able to recognize the problem. Um, and you recognize that you have a problem that needs to be worked on. I hope that makes sense. But another thing that it can really benefit it, another way it can really benefit us, being accountable, is it helps you build self-esteem. And we all know what addiction does to our self-esteem. We don't have we just don't have one. You have such feelings of shame and guilt, and you feel very inferior. It really just grinds you right down. And when you hold yourself accountable, you learn to make better decisions. And when you make better decisions, you have more positive outcomes. When you have positive outcomes, you start to feel better about yourself. So accountability is really, really good there. Another way that it can help is it helps you recognize, the signs or the symptoms that you might have when you might be getting into trouble. If you're being honest with yourself, it really does allow you to see a lot more clearly when the way that you're thinking or the way that you're behaving isn't quite right. and it might lead to relapse. And I don't know why I can't figure out what I meant by some of the notes I wrote here. Let's see. Okay, yes, if you are, I know what it was. If you are honest with yourself, you know, and then you're honest with other people as well, um, then they can start to recognize when they see signs or symptoms that you might be going into that relapse area again. Another thing that accountability can do is it can really um, help support in making changes. You know, and as addicts, when you're in active addiction, you really do need to make some changes. You know, you need to make changes that are going to help you live a clean and sober life. You know, these can be really difficult and painful at first. We all know, we all know the pain and the difficulty. But you know, having accountability, it helps you to realize when you're in need of support, um, to make that transformation, to make those changes, and and then you're able to reach out for support. You know, and it's so important. Um, Another thing that it can do is it'll help you realize when your environment might threaten your sobriety. You know, when you're in active addiction, the the environment that you're in, you know, where whatever it is, you know, this could be friends, it could be places, it could be, you know, many things, but you need to get away from that if you want to be successful at remaining clean and sober. And you might find at first that you're still very attached to certain people or certain places. You know, that's really difficult. But if you can maintain accountability, then you start to realize the advantages that you have in making those changes in your environment, and you realize how important that your environment is to remaining clean and sober. And I know all of you that have been there, you know, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. You cannot remain in the same environment and be successful at being clean and sober. It just doesn't work that way. Another thing that it can do is help you have a more objective perspective at when you need to seek help. You know, having accountability, you do know when you need to seek help. You know, and that's why it's so important that we have those five, that list of five, so that when something comes up and it's starting to create those cravings and those thoughts, that you've got to have somebody that you can turn to, you and you know when you're in need of help. You know, and if you're honest with yourself, you might even be able to recognize when you need professional help if that is necessary as well. But you know, these are all benefits that you get from being accountable. Um, and you know, because we have so many new people on here, I just wanted to quickly run through some of the things, you know, how to recognize when you might need some kind of intervention, you know, some kind of change. um, and this is the same for, this is something that, you know, if you are a sponsor for someone, these are the things that you need to look for as well. um, One of those would be skipping work to go and use. Um, Another one would be staying away from your friends or your family or anyone else, you know, in your life that doesn't use. If you start, you know, staying away from these people, that's not a good sign. Another one would be just becoming hostile or negative all of a sudden. You know, that's a good indication that you might need to do something. something different. Another one would be not taking care of your personal hygiene. There's a lot of things that we need to do. Again, when you're in active addiction, you don't take care of your health, you don't take care of yourself, you don't eat well, you don't have, you don't keep a schedule, you're probably not getting the sleep that you need. There's a lot of things that go into self-care, and if you're not doing those things, or if your physical appearance begins to suffer too, I mean, those are some good indications that you need to do something different. um, Also, if you get angry or bitter if somebody asks about your health, good sign right there. And another one that I was thinking of was denying to somebody that you ever had an addiction. Big one right there. We need to own what the things that we do, and we need to be honest and upfront about it. And one day claiming that you never even had an addiction, yeah, that's not a good thing. Not at all. Anyway, wow, that was good timing because I just reached the end. But really, accountability is a really important part, and I don't see how you can maintain sobriety, that without being accountable to yourself and to other people. And like I said, it's not easy. Um, you have to remain humble, and you have to be willing to allow others to help correct you when you get off the path. It's a really important part. It's one of those integral things to sobriety. Anyway, let's see who is in the chat tonight. We got Goosebump and Miss Fee and Jennifer and Chili Phil and Miss Dragon. Let's see, James, Blake. Hey, Blake popped in. John Doe. I'm skipping over the names that I have already seen. Lisa K. Hey, there is another name I've never seen before. So welcome. This is awesome. We've got all these new people. I love this. Let's see. Mark's here. And let's see. Noise opera. Did I didn't welcome you earlier? I'm sorry. Let's see. Brandon. Hey, Brandon. And he's 24 days sober. Man, you are so close. You are so close to a month now. This is awesome. Congratulations, Brandon. Hang in there. You're killing it. This is awesome. Very proud of you. It's not easy. You're doing it. This is so cool. Let's see. Rip. Oh, Rip Curl's in here. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Let's see. If I miss saying hello to you, I am sorry. Crazy Brumfield's here. Hey, and Barela. Hey, Matt. And let's see. I think I probably. Oh, Stanford Truth. Nope, I didn't see you. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Awesome. And Lemmy. Hey, Lemmy. And Jennifer, if I didn't mention you, I apologize, but I did now. Anyway, I'm just thank you guys for coming. This is such. I love this boat, you guys. You know that. I say it all the time, but I really do. I really do. This is just an amazing place to come and be with other people that have the same goal in mind, and this is a wonderful place to come and get support, and love you guys. It's all you guys here in the chat that make this work, and I love every one of you. I want you guys to know I pray for you guys multiple times a day. I pray for every single member. I mean, not by name, but if I know that one of you is having a particularly difficult time, of course, I pray for you by name, but I pray for every single member. Love you guys, and I just want to reassure you that, if you're struggling right now, if it just seems like it might be just a little too hard or a little too impossible, don't let those thoughts run amok in your mind. You do have the strength to do this. And you've got a lot of people that are willing to help you too. You've got a lot of people that you can reach out to. And, this is, love this boat. It's an awesome thing that Tommy has started. And if he is listening, Tommy, I hope things are going well with the move. I think you guys will be on the road tomorrow, I believe. But I hope everything's going well. Anyway, I believe I will be on in the morning again. So I will see you guys then. You guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.